Hello and welcome to a single expansion Tuesday game of the Daily Dominion against the Hard AI. Today we have a Nocturne only kingdom, and Nocturne only means that we have heirlooms, we have night cards, and yeah, also some Boons and Hexes involved. This is shaping up to be an interesting game. Let's see. As always, at first, let me briefly go through the kingdom. There is Pixie, which will let us see the next boon after giving us plus a card as an action, and we can trash the Pixie from play to receive the boon twice. Boons are kind of good effects. There are some that are more relevant and some that are less relevant, I'd say. But situationally, Pixies can be very strong. Ghost Town is a village for next turn. And a nice thing about it is that it's gained to the hand. Yeah, if we're ever in need for a village effect next turn, we can just gain a Ghost Town and be off with it. Conclave is another village, but a non-drawing one, so it decreases the hand size, but in turn gives +2 money. Then there is Exorcist. Exorcist lets us trash a card from our hand, and we can gain a cheaper spirit from one of the spirit piles. And there are 3 spirits, Wisp, which we can get whenever we trash a card costing more than 0. Which can function as a lab if the top card of our deck after drawing the first card is a card costing 2 or less. Imp is a spirit costing 2, so we can gain it by trashing a 3 or 4 or 5 cost card. And it's a laboratory as long as we play a card from our hand that we do not have a copy in play. And I forgot this about Conclave. This is the same condition Conclave also has for receiving the plus action and even being able to play the card. Then there's Ghost, a village effect, throne room effect, basically, letting us start a turn by double playing an action card. It's very strong, but also we'll have to trash a card costing 5 or more to get it with Exorcist. Next up, we have Necromancer, which is a card that put 3 zombies in the trash to begin with. These zombies can be played, and Necromancer on play lets us choose any card from the trash and play that card, but only once at most during our turn. Yeah, usually Zombie Spy is nice. Zombie Mason can function as some trashing, but is somewhat risky if we don't know the top card of our deck. And especially with other trashing, usually isn't worth going for. Zombie Apprentice, well, lets us trash an action card for +3 cards and plus an action, which also inadvertently puts other action cards in the trash that we can later play with Necromancer. Next up, Cobbler. At the start of your next turn, gain a card costing up to 4 to your hand. Quite nice workshop variant. Non-terminal, lets us gain to hand, but can only be played once during every other turn, as it's a duration card. There's Puka then, which lets us trash a treasure other than Cursed Gold from our hand from 4+4 cards. The Cursed Gold is a gold with the condition that we gain a curse whenever we play it. So it lets us get rid of treasures, but not the Cursed Gold. Yeah, I always feel like Puka is a tad too weak. I very often find myself wishing that it would give +5 cards for trashing a treasure, but yeah, sometimes it can function as a nice draw. There's Tormentor, +2, and if it's the first card we put in play, or if it's the only card that we have in play, we gain an imp. Otherwise, the other player receives the next hex. Hexes are bad effects, the bad cousin from to the boons. Yeah, just annoying effects. But usually Tormentor is strongest if you can gain it early. And yeah, just um, just get a few imps into your deck quickly. Vampire is a card that gains a card costing up to 5, and each other player receives the next hex. And Vampire can be exchanged for a bat, and the bat is a card that trashes up to 2 cards from our hand. And if we trash at least once, one, we can exchange it back for a Vampire. Well, that's a lot of components, as is usually the case with Nocturne Kingdoms. Last but not least, well, probably last and least is Raider, which is an attack that has each other player discard a card that you have a copy of in play, and at the start of the next turn, it functions as gold plus 3 money. It's usually weak because you can only play it every other turn, and the attack can be annoying, but it's usually not super strong. Alright, that leaves us, after 6 minutes of brabbling about the cards and components, leaves us with tackling this kingdom. How am I going to play this? I think it's quite tricky because there are many choices to be made, especially already considering the cursed gold we have in our first hand, and the different options in trashing. We have the goat as well. It's not shown here. Maybe I can show it down. Is it shown somewhere? Yeah, here. It's the other heirloom that comes in due to the pixie being in the game. We're going to see it the next hand. The goat lets us trash cards per default. But we can. I'd still argue it would be nice to have a few, supplements in trashing. So for that reason, I think I might get an Exorcist. I am somewhat indifferent about the Vampire. I think it's nice, but not super necessary here. We could also think about starting with Tormentor, but that would mean that we would have to gain a curse already. And I'm not super sure whether the early imps are going to be worth it. So, yeah, this is tough. We might also go for a few Necromancers later. I think I'll go for an Exorcist on the $4 hand, just to trash out quicker, and then try to get some draw up via imps and will-o-wisps by trashing a few of my good cards and the estates, of course. Maybe we can pair the Exorcist with the cursed gold and trash and get an imp from that. And yeah, just roll with it. Let's see. Opening wise, there's a lot of stuff to discuss. If you have the 5/2 and both of the heirlooms in your hand, well, I guess you just trash a copper and are very sad about it. Or you could even think about trashing the cursed gold immediately, just going for the 4 cost. I think actually that might be my course of action in that very sad case. On the 3/3, plus having the cursed gold in one of the hands, I think I might go Pixie and either Tormentor or Cobbler. On the 5/4 that we have here, I think I'll just go with Pixie and Exorcist. Just trashing the estate with the Pixie hand and with the goat hand, and trying to not get too much junk into our deck so we can get thin fast. That, after 10 minutes of introduction, brings me to the point of actually playing the kingdom. Let's go. Yeah, as I said, let's start by going Pixie Exorcist. I could have gone Tormentor or Cobbler as well. Viable choices. Let's see which boon we get. This is not the boon we want to get, and also this is not the hand we want to see at all, because the next hand is going to have the Exorcist and 4 coppers with it. I think I'm going to trash out an estate, and here I might already, yeah, I think now it's okay to eat a curse, and yeah, why not hex our opponents a bit, gaining us Cobbler. Yeah, the AI has a very nice boon in the Earth's Gift there, being able to discard 2 cards. I think I'm just going to buy another Pixie, trash a copper. We could trash this Pixie for +1 buy, but I don't see much of a point. Now the curse is already annoying, but we get to hex the AI, trash a card, and gain a Will-O-Wisp for it. And yeah, let's go. Okay, the AI was lucky in using the Zombie Mason. I didn't track its deck. Maybe it was guaranteed that it would find the curse. But yeah, that's quite nice. Trashing the Pixie here also looks very, very juicy. We could now think about yeah, just what's in the trash is there? The pixies in the trash are not going to be of any value with the Necromancer, as you cannot really trash them to receive the boon twice. So what I'm thinking about here is either getting, so we are going to draw 7 cards next turn, which is nice, but we are moving through our deck kind of slowly. So there might be a merit to trashing down a bit faster by getting a Puka in the deck. That will also mean that we'll get another curse in. Or we can just eat up a ghost town or another pixie. It's really not totally clear to me what to do here. Let's go for the ghost town actually, not eat another curse, and just trash out next turn with the bat and the Exorcist. Yeah, nice. We draw the Cobbler. Discarding 3 cards for gold isn't of much use here, I think. And now we're at quite a nice point, because yeah, we get to trash out the deck pretty substantially. The last cards are, I think, an estate and Will-O-Wisp, which is nice. I'm currently wondering whether to keep the cursed gold and use it as payload, or just turn it into an imp for some draw. I think draw-wise we're actually quite well set up currently, and we are going to gain a up to 4 cost card next turn, which is likely going to be a Conclave. About drawing next turn, yeah, I think we just want to get thin and be solid here. Maybe get another pixie in for lucky boon. We can always track here which boons have been and which have not been taken. So, for example, getting, well, the Flames gift is kind of useless, but the Mountains gift would be pretty nice. The Swamps gift also. So yes, let's gain a pixie, buy a pixie, trash a copper, turn this cursed gold into an imp and play the cobbler. Oh, the other card must have been a copper. I had already trashed the other estate. So now we can. Well, there still isn't much better trash stuff in the trash. I think we should get a Conclave for some payload. We find an imp which gets to play a pixie. We can use the trash to get 2 silvers into our deck. Which we'll be able to turn into imps later. Yeah, let's trash down further. Here, I think for now I'm happy to just gain another pixie, trash a copper, and the famine doesn't do much to the AI there. But here we can gain another card costing up to 5. And I think that card either wants to be a Necromancer, as this would be nice also with the imps in our deck, or another Cobbler. Yeah, let's aim for the Cobbler, find it here, quite nice. And yeah, the imps and conclaves are kind of taking each other's spots for unique cards, but you can get pixies out of play by trashing them. You can chain imps and conclaves themselves, so it should all be alright. We do not want to trash this pixie just to see the 2 cards. They are the bat and the other card should be. Actually, I don't know what the other card should be. But yeah, here we. We have some decisions to make. I think next turn I want to trash the vampire for a ghost to improve our draw. This turn I think we just, even though it feels really bad, just buying only a pixie, I think this is the way to go, as we want to get the vampire back and get another imp. And here I think I like having a symmetry of cobblers, so I don't play the second cobbler. The last card was a goat, of course. And yeah, I kind of like the composition of my deck. We're kind of low on payload overall. Maybe having another vampire to gain us a few tormentors might be nice. The AI got its second Will-O-Wisp pixie trashed, which is kind of concerning, as it will have loads of good cheap draw. Here, I think we just. Is there a better card than trash yet? No, I don't think so. Just gain a conclave. We were kind of low on money the last turn. So let's play this, play that, play this. We don't need to trash anything. Play the imp to play the Will-O-Wisp. Play a pixie. Play another pixie. Now this is really annoying. We miss our cobbler. And I don't think we need the ghost town that much, to be honest. So let's turn it into a another Imp or Will-O-Wisp. I think getting the ghosts in now wouldn't do us much. We need to get some more valuable cards into our deck, so I'm just going to trash this ghost town. We can afford one more imp, I think, especially if we now get another tormentor, get our first tormentor, which will be another unique card. Yeah, the cobbler missing there was kind of crushing, kind of annoying. And the AI draws pretty well with the Will-O-Wisps, as they tend to synergize with each other, drawing each other. Now our Exorcist just got trashed. That's annoying. Let's see. And the AI gets yet another pair of Will-O-Wisps, and we won't be able to buy any action cards next turn. But the AI goes for Raider. That's kind of surprising. Turn 10. I guess you can do that. This Earth's Gift is kind of useless to us. We can play the Imp to play a Will-O-Wisp this turn. Even draw something. Can play maybe the Conclave on the Tormentor. Miserable means that the AI will have 2 less on its add 2 negative victory points. I'm sorry. And here we can only buy night cards or treasures due to our the looted that we're in. And there are some choices to be made. I think the bat wants to trash the goat at this point to turn back into a vampire. I think we should really get another Exorcist, but we can gain that through one of our cobblers next turn. And I also think we might want to be on our way of having a little more payload to be able to province. So yes, let's get this gold in, play those 2 cobblers, can gain another cobbler here. Yeah, I put its deck into its discard, and Bad Omens would put coppers on top, but the AI doesn't have any coppers. And yeah, this is kind of not going super great, but we're hexing each other like crazy. And the AI has this stack of Will-O-Wisps in its deck, enabling it to draw stuff. I was about to say I'm not all too unhappy about this curse in my hand because of the bat, but then the bat got trashed the next moment. Also not too great. AI goes ahead and gains a province. And now we also need to discard either our Conclave or Pixie. But here we can gain an Exorcist and a Necromancer. Play a Conclave, which plays a Pixie. Can play the Imp to play Necromancer to play, well, what's there? To play another Necromancer. Or just play a... How many Necromancers does the AI have? The AI has 2 Necromancers, so I think we just want to play a Zombie Spy. Continue to top deck that Wisp. I'm actually going to play this Pixie first in case we get to draw something. Now, do we want to trash this or do we want to keep this? Being a little more reliable next turn might be nice. But having 2 Pixies will enable us to maybe get the +buy boon So I think I'll just keep this. Can now play the Imp to play the Tormentor or the Will-O-Wisp, doesn't matter. AI gets Envious, receives Envious, but it will have a Raider incoming and a Cobbler incoming, so it's very likely to be able to Province. Yeah, at this point, actually, the Exorcist might have been a mistake. It's not too great. Well, we do get to trash out a curse, but also next turn we are going to have another bat that we want to feed, so I think I'm going to actually keep around this curse. And this vampire can gain us. Also not 100% sure about this, but maybe... well, we can of course just gain something to our hand and then turn this into an imp immediately. Or should it be a Will-O-Wisp? I think at this point having a few more Will-O-Wisps might be the better way to go. Could have also used the Ghost Town to set up next turn, of course, but I think with the Cobbler coming in, it might be alright. Oh, well, here we get the next Plague, the next curse to our hand. Yeah, we'll be able to trash out at least one, but this poverty is brutal. Especially after the plague. Man, what a mess this kingdom is. It's only turned 12, but it feels like an eternity. We've been hit by so many annoying things. I think I'll go for a Conclave here, Imp, Conclave Necromancer, to Zombie Spy. Let's actually discard this. Imp into Will-O-Wisp, nice, that draws us a card. Conclave can play the first Pixie. Well, we don't have anything to trash, maybe the Will-O-Wisp will draw a curse or another Pixie. Great, we can gain 2 more Will-O-Wisps. Even at this point, I think they're quite useful, especially since we just shuffle here. AI once again gets its deck discarded for no real reason. But we get to now play 2 Cobblers and yeah, end up with this somewhat nice hand. What does the AI do? The AI doesn't have the 3 money incoming this turn, but I think it should be still able to hit 8 to buy the province. Interestingly, it doesn't take the boon as well, the Seize gift. Now we also get misery, leaving us on par with AI. It only hit 7, which is quite nice. This will get us ahead in the province game. We do need to discard a copy of a card it has in play. And I think here I'm going to discard the Conclave, as I just want draw. And here we can get, yeah, maybe a Necromancer and even another Necromancer, just to use set Necromancer to trash it for +3 cards in an action. With the idea to make as much use of our village and imp effects as we can. We should play this Wisp first, drawing us another Wisp, another imp. Maybe we find a Pixie, nice. I don't think we get anything out of trashing this, but we hit 9, which is very good, and we can turn a curse into a vampire. We can turn a Conclave into an Imp and be ahead at least somewhat. We do have the Vampire, we have the extra gains. But we could, of course, be hit by really bad hexes by the AI, so it's not... this game is long from over. is far from over. But yeah, we again get hit by Delusion, so we can't buy any action cards next turn. But at this point, really, we only want to get those provinces. And we trash the other Exorcist. Great. Here, what do we gain? I think a Necromancer should be fine. The AI will be limited to just the province gain, I think. Unless it... no, it can, in principle, use the Necromancer to hit a 5-cost card and thus gain a Duchy. So we really need to be very, very careful. Maybe we can do the same ourselves. Can play the Imp and the Conclave on the Will-O-Wisp. Play another... no, actually we do know that we have a Necromancer on top, and at this point gaining cards will be... gaining a Duchy will be really nice, so we can trash it and gain this Duchy. Now here I think we just play this Necromancer as a zombie spy. Do we discard or top deck this Tormentor? I think I'm alright with top decking it and just buying a Duchy this turn. We have the overall better deck than the AI. Maybe we even are lucky and find yet another card. Well, I feel good about myself at this point. Because the AI, the best it will be able to do is buy a province and gain a Duchy, and in which case I will be able to just gain 2 of the Conclaves, or Necromancer and a Conclave, as there is already a Conclave in the trash. And we'll be able to hit 7 that way, and then we only have to somehow find another money for the province. But yeah, at this point, while we are waiting for the AI to finish its turn, yeah, let me comment on this kingdom once again. It's much more messy than I first pictured it, with all of these components and yeah, all of this stuff just going on. Now we shuffle 3 of our somewhat good cards, get 3 of our somewhat good cards out of this shuffle. And we also need to discard one of those cards. Which one should it be? I think it needs to be the gold. As bad as it is, the AI gets that province, puts a raider into play, and this is turning very scary actually. Yeah, this is nice. Well, if only we can hit another 2 somehow. Perfect, we do hit another 2 in the form of Necromancer. Whew, this was really, really scary in the end. Much more than I thought it would be. Yeah, essentially we can draw this up, hit 8, and yeah, deal out 1 last hex, gaining a Duchy, and be on our way. But Oh me, oh my, this was a messy kingdom. Ooh. And with that, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Thanks for enduring this with me. No, I forgot to show the contents of our decks. Yeah, we both have very clean decks. And one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning, I think I forgot to show this kingdom plot. There is some attacks going on, no alternate ways to receive victory points except for the misery, hexing the opponents for victory points essentially. Loads of thinning and gain, but notably no real plus buy, with the only plus buy being in the form of pixie boons, cycling you to the forest's gift, which is over here, the plus buy boon. Yeah, weird kingdom. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.